These are all the gunpla I built in 2024. Some were big winners, others, not so much. So today I want to rank my top 10 favorites and give a little brief on what makes them so special. I'll also be posting my top 10 least favorite kits sometime later on this month, so keep an eye out for that. But with that out of the way, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's jump right into it. Starting the list off with the newest kit in my collection, the high-grade Ariel rebuild. I first got Ariel when I was mostly just building high grades, and I was really surprised in the amount of detail they were able to just smash into such a small 1/144th scale model. The only other kits I've done beforehand were all the winged high-grade kits, and those aren't bad, but nothing compared to this. So much articulation in the joints, so the posing was some gnarly stuff, and not to mention both it and my Calibarn have what are these like clear pieces on the chest and on the legs. I think it's like the drive, the GN drive or whatever. No, that's 00. I forget what it's called, but it's like all the clear pieces so you can see that it's going. I really like it, and I wish more high grades had stuff like this. Next up is by far the oldest kit in my collection, that being this high grade High-Gog. I've got a soft spot in my heart for some of the more robust Zeon mobile suit designs, and as you'll see later on down the list, High-Gog's not the only one. He strikes that nice sweet spot between being goofy and menacing, and being from the 80s, it was really interesting to see how far kits have come and just kind of how similar they still are, really. A lot of poly caps, you know, a little bit of cement here and there, and boom, you got yourself a mobile kit. And I'm not sure how you guys feel, but I almost prefer when you have to put in the extra work to add color separation and detail. It just helps make the kit feel more your own, and it really feels like you're building a robot. This might be a little bit of recency bias considering it's the latest kit I've built, but number 7 on this list is the Master Grade Zegok, and boy do I love this. Again, like I said, just something about the chunkier build of Zeon, it just really hits home with me. It starts with the build on this guy. It was really unlike any other kit I've put together this year, and when a kit can impress just by its inner frame, you know you've got yourself a winner. The legs on this guy are like so thick compared to any other Master Grades, and same with the arms, and just having him stand side by side with any of the others, it's really weird because they're all, you know, the same scale and whatnot. This guy, just so big, and he's got all the chunk in all the right places. Next up is yet another chunky mobile suit design. This time, if I don't break it, we've got the high grade Kshatriya. When I first got into building kits, I was really interested in how big they were because I was really obsessed with the whole 1/100th, 1/144th scale. So I was like, well, what's the biggest kit you can get? And obviously, you know, there's mega sized, and there's, you know, the giant statues outside of the store in Japan. This right here, Kshatriya, I wanted it immediately. It's so big compared to all the other high grades, and I mean, for a good reason. And the giant bell peppers, the wings, or whatever you want to call them over here, are so massive and so crazy. It's like, it took so much just to hold these guys up, and this mixed with like the late Universal Century design just makes this such a freaking awesome kit. And the only negatives I have about this guy really are detailing all of the small missiles on the inside. And I don't know if it's just because of the age of the kit or what, but this was the only kit I've had this year that had plastic bits break on me while I was building. So I did have to cement her arm in place so it can't move, but really not that pressed because I'm not really going to be moving her that much anyways. It wouldn't be much of a Gundam list without having the granddaddy of Gundam himself on this list, and I chose the high-grade RX-72 Origin Edition. The Origin just might be my favorite rendition of the granddaddy Gundam because it does everything it needs to without being too overly complex. Get a nice amount of details, the build isn't too crazy but still solid and looks good. Not to mention, I really like his pink. I like his pink. Yeah, I did the pink custom on this one. My wife was wanting me to make a pink Gundam for her, and I had this guy sitting in my backlog, and I thought, you know what? Let's make the granddaddy the grandma Gundam. I really like how it turned out. This is me in post realizing that I forgot to record my part for the Real Grade Mark II, which is still somehow the only real grade I've built, and that's honestly a shame because I enjoyed the Master Grade quality that came in such a small high grade package. Not to mention the Mark II is one of my absolute favorite Gundam designs across the entire franchise. It takes what the OG Granddaddy did, just gives it a little bit more of that oomph to it. It looks really great. And this was also the first kit I tried doing any sort of customizing on. I got a set of those Gundam metallic markers, and as you can tell, I went to town using that silver metallic just to kind of give it an aged, weathered look, and I think it turned out really good. And now I need to figure out which real grade I'm going to be getting for next year. Talk about eye-catching. Next up, we have the Master Grade Strike Freedom. This was only the second Master Grade I ever built, and oh boy, was it a treat. A gold inner frame, moving knee armor plates, the giant wings, and it came with a stand. There was just so much to love about this, but one thing I love even more about the hobby in general is ignorance, because I was ignorant about Strike Freedom, just the strike line in general. And that was up until a few months ago when I learned that this thing had a 2.0. And so when I did find out about that, I had to go pick it up because I really, really love that kit. And I'm really excited to build this kit, but it makes me hope that I don't dislike the 1.0 anymore. And who knows, maybe this time next year, 2.0 will be on this list instead, but still, great kit all around. Taking home the bronze trophy this year is the Master Grade Heavy Arms. I know for many Gundam fans, Wing was an entry point into the hobby, but for me, I hated the show. Hated it. It took me 2 different watches to try to get through it all because there was so much slog and just so much but I finally got through it. And now, besides Universal's entry, kits from Wing, After Colony, whatever, I've got the most of. And I've also got Gundam Endless Waltz on VHS because I found it on eBay for like $5. I thought it was really cool. And so yeah, I really like Wing now. I don't like the show, but I like the kits, including the Master Grade Heavy Arms. Something about that design is just, it makes sense. You got a big giant robot, give him a big giant gun, duh. And throw in like 500 missiles while you're at it. What the Wing kits might be lacking in size, they make up for in sheer badassery. Badassery? Right? Is that really in the script? 2024 was a big year for me in Gundam, partly because it was my first year with Gundam. And that all started with this little high grade right here. High grade Barbados. Originally, he looked a lot more straight out the box than he does now. Because it was my first kit, obviously I didn't have any tools or necessities for building and cleaning up Gunpla the correct way. So all I had was my box and a pair of pliers, and oh boy, he looked rough. But I didn't care because this was unlike anything I'd ever done, you know, besides like Legos or whatever. But I was so hooked just cutting these pieces out and putting together and building up my own little robot. I thought it was so cool. And then I got like 4 more high grades within the next 2 weeks because I was hooked, and it was all because of that Barbados. And now since I've stuck with it, I've gotten my tools and I've got everything needed. I've cleaned up Barbados, well, cleaned him up. I've weathered him up, kind of to hide some of my mistakes that I originally made. I think he looks really good now. And you know, it was just kind of that spark that started this whole thing. I really like Iron Blooded Orphans as a show too. And so I just have to thank Barbie. And he would be #1 if it wasn't for the best kid ever, question mark. Taking the #1 spot, easily, I might add, easily, is this Master Grade Dynames Midnight Sniper Edition. I made that up because I painted him. I've put together a handful of Master Grades this year, but nothing comes close to the stability, sturdiness, and just cool vibes that the Dynames brings. It's got the giant sniper, it's got this cowl that can turn into a shield. And like I said, I did give him a little bit of a palette swap, changing his iconic green to this black. I think it turned out really damn good. For me, with a lot of my Gundam, a lot of my Gunpla, I really get attached to the customization and the work I do after just building them up from the box. And I don't know why, but I think black serves this really well. Maybe it's just because, you know, you're a sniper, you're supposed to stay hidden, the black works, yada yada. But I really loved it and makes me really like this kit. It stands out so much on my shelves that I just, every now and then I just gotta stop and look at it and think, damn, that's a good kit. And my only gripe with it is I have yet to have one that I enjoy more. And this was a couple months ago that I built, so I don't know. I know next year is a big year for Gunpla. It's like the 45th anniversary, something like that. So hopefully there's some really dope kits then that can try to surpass this. But if you have any other recommendations for really good kits I should get my hands on, let me know down in the comments, because regardless, that's my list and that's what I built in 2024. Hope you guys enjoyed. Did you like any of these kits? Did I leave out some really good ones that I should try for next year? Again, let me know down in the comments. I appreciate you guys watching. And like I said, I'll have my top 10 least favorites coming out soon, so keep an eye out for that. Subscribe so you don't miss. I will talk to you guys next time. Peace.